All right, I should be good to go, Sean. I don't know. Can you hear me? I just started the stream now. I just started the stream now. Shouldn't have lost the browser because we certainly should have done it almost instantly. Okay, guys, can you guys hear me in YouTube? Just want to make sure. 100%. Thank you, Mr. Michael Noss. Yeah, of course, all that news was already out, of course, with no dividend. No dividend, no guidance. But I think the no guidance is probably a red herring. I mean, I can't imagine too many companies are going to be giving guidance in earnings season. I just don't see it. How can they guide? How can anybody possibly know what's going to happen next quarter? Just waiting on this HUYA. This is from the simulator, okay? So I haven't taken this one, but I can be probably persuaded to do that if it takes out 16. But it looks like it's not going to. Looks like it's actually trying to bounce here, HUYA. So again, it's only in the simulator. Well, really keep an eye on the Busters play. Be easy to get. It's only down 1%, so it's not. Excuse me. So it is not. The uptick rule is not in effect. Yeah, my only, if I want to call it concern, is the low of yesterday. It's not that far away, but 950 is the low of yesterday. But it could easily blow through that. I mean, if it starts downward, on earnings, market is starting to move down again. That was just a glimmer of hope in the SPY. Again, I know I say this every day, but look how casually we're looking at the market down 400 points. Ho hum. Like it's up 400, down 400, up 1,000, down 1,000. Ho hum. I don't know what you've been looking at. It definitely has not been dead for us. Again, guys, keep an eye on this play. Depends how much you're willing, you want to make on it, of course. I mean, I think there could be some pretty good resistance around 950, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. Now it's starting to pop a little bit here, back over 10. So there's that magic 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart right there. All right, guys, I am going to do my video, and this time I have to remember to turn my music off. So first thing I do, turn my music off. Otherwise, YouTube will say no go. Music is off. Okay. All right, guys, so I will put in the announcement here. Again, I always say it'll be 150. It will not be 150. Probably make the change on the weekend. Okay, so back at 150. Let me get one more thing done before I leave you guys. The chat did close on me. Sorry, guys, just a second. I have to reload YouTube, I guess. Okay, just a second. Okay. All right, guys, so I'm going to put myself on mute now, and we'll see you at before 150. Probably about 135 or so. All right, everybody, I'm now back. Yeah, Carter. It's not a silly question at all. I mean, listen, support and resistance to, you can ask 10 different people and you might get 10 different answers of when they look at a chart, what support and resistance is, okay? I mean, a lot of it is the eyeball test. I mean, obviously, if you see a big consolidation, on a chart, and like a lot of, on a 5 minute chart or a 15-minute chart, all basically at the same price, very narrow range, you can say, okay, if you're, that is support or resistance depending on which way you want to go, as an example. I'm afraid to look at play. Yes, good for you. Okay. Support and resistance. The 200-day moving average is going to be probably a universally looked at, that area, as Real would say, as opposed to just the line itself, the number itself, but the area can be support or resistance. The VWAP can be support and resistance, okay? So things like that. I mean, so obviously the VWAP is a number, or sorry, the VWAP is a specific number. So that can be identified. The 200-day moving average is a specific number. So those are, there's obvious numbers, okay? But the other ones, mainly what happens is, I think for a lot of us anyway, we look at a chart and we go, okay. I mean, when that's why, I'm sorry guys, I know I probably bore the heck out of you guys, but I look at the daily, weekly, and monthly chart because typically I'm always looking at stocks that have either near the high or near the low of the day. So consequently, I don't have to worry about intraday resistance or support, depending on which way I'm going. So my big focus then is, okay, what do I see on a daily, weekly, monthly chart? Is there, as I call it, room for it to still move in the direction I want it to go? And that's just a matter of, sometimes it'll just jump right out at you. You can just sort of, you look, for instance, the GBDC, it's an all-time low right now. Okay, so there's obviously no support. Doesn't mean it's going to keep going down to zero, but at least you know it's not going, if it took out the low again right here, 914, what's going to support it? Maybe the whole number, 9, but there's no chart support on it. So, those are just things I think as you get more used to trading, at least for me anyway, the way I trade, that's what I'm constantly looking at. How much room on these larger time frames, bigger time frames, how much room do they have? So guys, wow, the AI very, very quiet today. Very quiet today. The other one, my other one that I'm fixated on. Second, please. Okay. What does that mean? You mean an actual vaccine? Is that what they're saying? A vaccine? No, this is one that I traded yesterday. This KTB. Man, I should have kept watching this one. KTB was a little bit spready at times, but KTB continues down. Another one, all-time low. There's no support, zero support. It looks like they might have done an IPO here. Somebody mentioned an IPO today. My gosh, what was that symbol? Imagine launching an IPO in this market. Somebody mentioned, I think, that an IPO came out. I don't, Well, for me and the EMA, I'm aware of it, okay, but I'm not. Real is, Real watches it way more than I do. The 20 SMA, the 8 EMA, on the 8 EMA, 20 SMA crosses, and then the 8 EMA. I mean, I'm aware of it. How's that? ZNTL, thank you. Well, not bad though. It opened 40% above the IPO price. Amazing that they would open. $18 a share, so this is pretty successful right now. ZNTL. That's it hasn't moved really, a little bit, but it hasn't really moved off $25. Real is who is Real? Well, as Real said earlier, he helps me out in the room. So if I'm gone, he makes sure people are on topic, or if there's an abusive post, he'll get rid of it. I mean, and for which I am so appreciative, because it allows me then to, take a break. And of course, but in the room, he's a terrific trader and helps people all the time. The odd time I do take an actual vacation, he will open the room and moderate text wise. Now I don't, we don't put him on the mic, but well, yeah, I mean, you cannot go wrong listening to Real all day long. That's Carrier, isn't it? Carrier? No, I see. Is that the Indiana company? The ones that makes the air conditioners or something? Yeah, Real is way more of a policeman than I am. Well, one of the reasons is I listen. Obviously, I try to keep abreast of all the posts that are in, but sometimes I miss. And he will. Wow, I swear on Monday I'm going to pay attention to this. Oh no, stupid Windows. Just give me a second here. No, that's not good. Here we go. All right, give me a minute here. I have to rearrange my other things on my other monitor that disappeared. They didn't disappear. They just shrunk. Okay, just one more thing I have to do, and then we're back to normal for me anyway on this. Oh, I got to find you guys now. True enough, true enough. Well, guys, what time is it? 1:46. So we're winding this week down. Another amazing week. PKO on the way down. PKO on the way down. Now, what sort of support does this have on the daily? So it's broken down through 2 days ago. Yeah, this has some room, guys, down around the 17 mark, maybe. PKO. What's the volume like? Volume's not great. And C-Day on the way down. C-Day, man, what sort of support is this there? Look at the monthly chart. So there could be some support around 33-ish. That's got a ways to go if it wants to. C-Day, C-D-A-Y, decent volume, 105 million in the float. Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, I got rid of the PKO because of the volume, really. Not very much volume. Yeah, 20-cent spread. Doesn't mean at the end of the day we won't see it at 16, but it won't be with me. Well, let's see. The lows are, let's see, the low of the SPY is around 245-ish. But more importantly, yeah, I mean, that's the line in the sand right there, guys. I mean, right there. Yesterday's low was 245.20-ish, and the day before, 243. So around 244, and we're not that far away. If it takes that out, I mean, look out below. Yeah, it was a very nice, with respect to what the whole market's been doing. I mean, really a nice. I don't think it ever got below the end. Oh, maybe it did. Yeah, because it was 26 something, right? That was on Monday. So right there. Yeah, that's kind of well, not amusing. I thought maybe 3M might drop a lot more just out of the public being so ticked off. Yeah, I think we saw BSGM earlier, not today necessarily, but no, okay, no, it definitely a nice pop. This was 5 days ago, and then just fell. Now it's trying to come back. Big volume. BioSig to host telebriefing on development updates regarding Vicromax, a novel broad-spectrum antiviral candidate that may treat COVID-19. That's the news. You can read it right here. Film at 11, yeah. So, guys, listen. I mean, we got another little over an hour left. I'm probably not going to do very much, if any, trading. So, great time to ask me questions if you have any questions. When will TI get more indicators? As in what sort of indicators? I know Michael Noss has been working on that. I have no idea when that'll happen. I know he's talking about adding some to the charts. So you're talking about filters themselves. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So the stochastics that we have, obviously, you want more. As an example, just as an example. You're talking about then, you're talking about on the charts? Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know. I really don't know. I suppose I would take, and I shouldn't say it like this because, because I don't use them doesn't mean I shouldn't try to find out more. But I know it comes up in some of the marketing meetings about adding indicators on the charts. We've done the anchored VWAP. I know that was just a little while ago. The buy and the short buttons, I know that's not an indicator, but we are adding more and more things to the charts, whether stochastics, etc. You're talking about really here, not the properties, where are you? Oh, indicators. So you're talking down here, indicators. So here are the ones we have. So I don't know. I don't know when things will be added. Are you talking to me, Jasper? I'm not thinking about getting in any stock right now, to be honest. I'm just kind of biding my time. I mean, something would really have to hit me over the head before I would want to. No, not CEI. No. I mean, look, it's holding two nicely. Had a great run early on, up to three, but I don't know. I'm not interested in it. Okay, great. Yes, it does exactly that, Richie. So when you get the alert, nothing happening really today, only two alerts. So you see what happened. There's the entry time, 10:16. The real time price alert was at 41.71. There is your stop. And it's a short, of course. That's a short. So there's your stop. So that's all laid out ahead of time. Okay? No, you have to go outside. We don't have. We're not. We don't teach trading like that at all. Candlestick patterns, technical analysis, or anything like that. But there's so many things on the, I think it's called the internet. There's so many things out there, but we don't teach any of that. Let's see, late Friday short squeezes that often occur. Okay, let me try to answer that. First, I'll answer Richie's. What brokerages? Well, again, we probably would have had E-Trade all signed and sealed right now, but a couple of things happened just before we were basically set to sign everything. Now we Trade Ideas, a version of Trade Ideas has been embedded in E-Trade for forever. Okay, so we've had a relationship with them for a long, long time, probably 10, 15 years. Okay, So this was going to be the year though, and they were very very open to it that we would, get into their API and just like and add Brokerage Plus, so you could trade using E-Trade, and we were all set to do it. And then Morgan Stanley bought them, so that even without the virus rearing its ugly head, that kind of put a bit of a stop to it. And then when the virus happened, that was it. So everything's on hold. No, everything's on hold. So late Friday short squeezes that often occur. Give me an example. Well, first of all, we do have a short float filter. The other thing that you can, I mean, I don't know if there's an alert, but you can also create a top list and just start running it, say at 3 o'clock, of stocks that are moving. As an example, late 30-minute surges and things like that. I mean, I don't off the top of my head have anything that would. I've never really thought about that late Friday short squeezes that often occur. Never really even thought about it. But there's not one alert. No. Bye bye SPY. Look at that, down 500 now. Bye bye. If this takes this out, then we're at the 2-day lows, and seriously in jeopardy of challenging those other lows. I had TradeStation such a long time ago. Probably back in 2005 or 6 or something like that. They actually allowed Canadians to have it. Then they changed the rules. And that was it. Well, we don't have Keltners, number one, so. And I don't know what we have that might duplicate, like be something like Keltners. So I can say, we just don't have Keltners. Where are you located, Keith? Okay, I think so. You're kidding about not getting IB. I agree. Canada is so usually so conservative banking wise. One of the reasons back in the financial crisis, I mean, we got hit, but our banks did not take the same hits that your banks did, because our lending practice is a little more conservative, which used to drive people crazy, but big sigh of relief. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with Interactive Brokers. Yeah, it's the SEC. It's IB. It's not IB's rule. Believe me, none of the brokers. Sorry, none of the brokers, of course, love that rule, but well, you can get Interactive Brokers. Yes, but unless you have $25,000 in your account or you want to trade on margin, um, then you're just nailed by the PDT rule. Your PDT. That's it. Yeah, as I understand it, you're right. I mean, you have if you don't if you have a cash account and you're not, let's say you had 10,000 in the account, as long as you don't go over $10,000 on any trade, and you get out, I guess it's fine, as long as you're not using any margin, which is not the end of the world. I don't think you just can't be in a lot of trades at the same time. Is that right? So in other words, it's not instant. If you Are you trying to tell me that if I buy 1,000 shares of a $10 stock, it's $10,000. I've got $10,000 in my account, and it goes up to $11, and I sell it. The money is not there immediately. Is that what you mean? Ah, 3 days clearing. Okay, so okay, so okay, but if oh yeah, okay, well that's not good. Hmm. I would think, if they would do everything, jump through hoops to have that money available to you as quickly as possible. Because if they're going to make, no, I know, commissions are next to nothing now, but hmm, I see. Okay, I didn't know any of this. Don't have to. I guess I've always had a margin account, so well, I don't hold overnight, Mark, so it doesn't cost me anything. So very rarely. I don't have margin overnight. So all the stuff I'm doing is basically intraday, so that doesn't cost me anything. I mean, it almost should be margin has a bad connotation. I should, I would call it daily leverage, if you will. Oh, there's something I didn't know either. So you can't short with a cash account. All these things I'm learning. I'm just going to let you guys talk, and I'll just pick up all this information. Yeah, hard to watch, guys. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll have like yesterday. Remember yesterday we had that late day surge, huge surge. I think when I closed down the room, I think the market was just a little bit negative, and then it had that huge surge, and we got what we're up about 400 by the end of the day. Well, I haven't had my alert yet, but I agree that it's getting awfully close. Right there is my alert, right in that area. You can see it just sitting on top of it. You can see if it takes this out, then look left. Look left on that daily chart. Oh. Well, guys, this is I'm getting no alerts. Let's see how that BSGM. So it popped up and then it's fallen back down. Yeah, not available for shorting for me. That's a good way of phrasing it, Bob J. Yeah, I mean it's never a dull moment, and I feel like I'm constantly out of breath. No relax. Guys, well, there's that level. That is that level for the SPY that I did not want to see taken out. So, well, let's see. Even though I'm not able to do anything, none of us are really able to do anything on the weekend, but man, just to do nothing, for me anyway, is great. And look at STNE. It didn't really do anything. Look at this. Didn't really do anything. I mean, I know William took up, but that was a pretty little scalp, I guess. But well, take a look at the daily chart, Richie. So if you look at the daily chart for the SPY, look at the last 2 days. Okay, those are the lows of the last 2 days, right? Just expand the SPY chart a bit. Okay, so there's the low. There's the low today. So can you imagine if it takes these 2 days out, then look left. There's really nothing is going to support it. There's no support whatsoever. And traders, a lot of people just take a look at that and go, uh-oh, and maybe start approaching those horrible lows down here before we had those nice bounce days. So that's what it means to me. What it means to me, it means that a lot of danger. A lot of no confidence whatsoever. I mean, listen, intraday again, we can get some fantastic bounces. Oh yeah, great for shorts, absolutely. I mean, you probably have shorts galore. But just because you say that, or I say that, you think, I'll just pick any stock and short it, and I'm going to make money. Unfortunately, even that does not work. I wish it did work like that. Oh yeah, but no, obviously there'll be a short bias if this takes us out and it continues next week. So let's just say, for argument's sake, this takes us out even a little bit today, and then Monday morning we wake up and it's down. I mean, I just think there's going to be so much short sentiment, maybe, and really trying to attack that level there. And if we give up that level, look out. I mean, really look out. Just a moment, please. Okay, I am now back, and I see the this little one, this HUYA. I'm still kind of watch. Excuse me. I'm still kind of watching to see if it can take out the whole number. But honestly, guys, I'm not too interested in doing very much. Time is at 2:14, so shutting the room down certainly no later than. Well, listen, I always say that, but if there are questions, I'll always stick around for questions. And no problem there. And what else here? We've got ARNC. What about ARNC? ARNC. Yeah, this is the spin-off quite a while ago, I think, of with Alcoa AA. It's a nice move. It is a nice little move right there. I think you probably hear my wife in the background. She's working from home too. And let's see. A big rojo candle. Okay, I'll allow that one. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just fiddling around with my headset here about a new headset. I always like, so a new toy. Just a second. What happened to them? I still have them. I don't mind them. They're very comfortable, but I find that the so-called true wireless, they're not. Maybe in the Apple world they're 100%, but not in the non-Apple world. And of course, I'm on my desktop is not an Apple, it's not a Mac or anything. So I just found that they would lose connection and all that too many times. So I've gone back to a wired wireless, if you will. So I got the Powerbeats, the new Powerbeats that just came out, and I think they're awesome. I have no problem with a wire, for what I do here. And plus, I've got 15 hours. 15 hours of before the battery runs out. Oh, Yikes is right. Look at aluminum. Look at so that's a lifetime low now. Yeah, American Airlines lifetime low. Oh, they're not bad. I shouldn't say that. It's just that I was finding that sometimes I found the connection just a little bit finicky every now and then, and I thought, you know what? And I put on my old Sony's, my expensive over the year ones, and they were awesome all the time. And anyway, I'm just a guy who just likes to try different things anyway. So I like these. All right, there's a Hua. I still have an eye on it. Maybe if it gets under 16, this is something I'm going to take as a last trade of the week. HUYA. A glimmer of hope? Well, I mean, there was our glimmer of hope here, with, I guess, talks about oil. There was our glimmer of hope right there. That was such a short-lived glimmer of hope. No, I don't trade the Canadian market at all. Not at all. I haven't traded it for years. Just not enough stocks with enough liquidity for the way I like to trade, so. With your name there, are you from Jasper, Alberta? Is that the idea, or is just for another reason? Close by? Okay. Beautiful place. Thank you, Autolycus. I see your. Of course, on those AirPods and all that, they don't have dongles. At least not. Really? That cold there? Wow. Pays. What is Pays doing? Let's see. Pays had a huge jump at the beginning. Now it's just basing. Comments. Well, obviously, here are a couple comments that I would make. There's a lot of resistance right around 450, and it's basing right here. So I suppose if I wanted, if somebody said you've got to trade this one, but you've got to find a pattern. To me, if it would take this out on some volume, so get a big volume bar, taking out this area right there. I mean, look, it hit what, 534. So, I mean, yeah, maybe you'd be giving up 10 or 15 cents to get it through here, but I think if so, if you had a big volume bar, but if you don't have any volume, it's probably not going to go anywhere. All right. Well, speaking of the glimmer of hope, guys, the glimmer of hope. Maybe. I mean, there's the first thread of a green candle on the 15-minute chart. Now, it has 6 minutes to close. We haven't had one in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've been straight down, excuse me, for an hour and a half. So maybe that will hold. Thought you guys talking about Etsy earlier on. I'm surprised Etsy is up. I guess, well, maybe I'm not surprised. Maybe just people doing a lot more home crafts and things like that. No, I'm wrong. I'm thinking I must be thinking about another company. I thought. No, I'm wrong. I don't know what I was thinking of. I thought Etsy was had something to do with home crafts. One moment, please. Yeah. So before you guys start typing in MES as a symbol, I think he's talking about micro minis or something like that. Yes, I can help you with that. Definitely, Mark. Price alerts. So here's your price alerts window. Okay. Here's you have to have the triggered column. Maybe you don't have the triggered column. Okay. A lot of columns we have. You right click on any one of the column headers. Sorry. Right click on any one of the column headers. Columns. And here are all the columns that we have. Okay. Yeah. That's a key one. Yeah. Because and I sort on the triggered so that I see the last one. And a trick that real waking him from a slumber that Real taught me. I don't know how many months ago now, but I think it's awesome. So, of course, with all the alerts, alert windows, multi-strategy windows, alert windows, the AI, you can put sound alerts. And so, number one, so just by actions, just by most Windows right clicking will bring up a menu like this, actions, and you can set up a sound. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, sort on the triggered column. Okay, so you're going to see the last one that triggered right at the top. But number three, minimize it. Which is probably what a lot of people want to do anyway because they don't have maybe screen space and so just minimize it. And then what happens is when you minimize, I minimize it from the monitor you watch most of the time. When you minimize it, and then when you get an alert, it pops up right in your monitor. You'll hear it, and it'll actually change colors for a while or fade, sort of a dark yellow and fade. So you can't miss the alert. So that's what I do now. I never used to do that. I used to have it because I really monitor space for me is not a big issue. So I used to have it open, but really there was no point in staring at the price alerts. Why? Hey guys, The Spy. Wouldn't that be insane if The Spy puts on a big rally and we close positive again? Yeah, I mean, I have my doubts today, but on jamais su. I see, my strong stock's up. If you have that one up, I've got the grand sum of two of them on here. So, and you can see Doyu. Yeah, I mean, it's just been basing all day up here. And Enia. I guess it's Enia. It's from South America somewhere. Where are you? Santiago. Sure. Okay, yeah, so a nice volume pop for IFRX. 2 days ago, huge move, but it sold right off. And then yesterday it sold off again. But obviously, if it can break out again, look at, you talk about room. This has room. I don't know what happened here. I'm not sure if that was really like a catastrophic day. I'd have to probably find the day. Yeah, but that's 40. I mean that's $40 or so down to what? 250. I mean, something had to happen. I don't know what they do. I mean, pharmaceutical preparation, whatever drug they've got must have had bad news. Is it really 28.34? That's a big, I mean, on a percentage move. I mean, wasn't it under 20, about 19 or 18, either earlier this week or last week? That's a big move. 50%. Interesting about Zoom. Good old Shake Shack. You mean better than Zoom? Boy, look, MIC has been all over the place. Look at this, all this ugly, ugly, ugly trader right now. I mean, look at that, all the way down to 714, 711, pop up, down, pop up, maybe a move up, who knows? I mean, it's just, any way of changing the color combination of the current price display in the little box that goes up and down to the right of the charts. The little box to the right of the charts. Are you to the right of the chart? So, oh, part of the charts. Okay. So, what are you talking? You talking about the volume? What are you talking about exactly? The volume bars I have here, or you talking about this shading here, this mauve and the price marker that moves up? Oh, I see. No. I mean, I assume it's green if it's going up and red if it's going. I haven't really watched it that much to be honest, but there's no way. No. Yeah, this is not like a fully blown charting package with all sorts of different features. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Most charting packages would allow you to go in and like really dive into the weeds and do all sorts of different things. Yeah, we're not doing that. I guess it's always green. I'm just looking. I see that move down. So, oh, I see. Really? I'm looking here. You find that hard to see? Oh, okay. I've got very good eyes. I have to admit, very good eyes. But I find that really stands out. So the answer, unfortunately, Mark, is no. Oh, guys. Okay, so shutting the room at 3 o'clock. Not that many, Bob. We've been stuck. You're talking in British Columbia, the whole province, or the country. Hasn't really been that bad when I look at it. We don't seem to have the hospital crisis that you guys might be going through. Well, especially New York. I mean, hey, listen, we're it's all social distancing, the whole bit, and nothing's open. Nothing is open. So I mean that's definitely. But we don't seem to. It seems to me, even though I see the curve for Canada is still on the up, but I don't. It just doesn't seem to be as catastrophic. Okay, I had a question. Hi, new here. Not sure how this works. Okay, Biz. So, are you when you say new here, new into this trading room? Are you new to trade ideas? You're new to trading. So you're in a trade ideas trading room. So what you see here are windows. You've never been in a trader chat room before. Okay, but are you a new trader or you've been around before? Do you have our product, Trade Ideas? Should probably only ask one question at a time, so you can say yes or no. Okay, do you have Trade Ideas? This is the program called Trade Ideas. Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me. So I asked the question. So I'm assuming that you don't have our program called Trade Ideas. That's what I'm displaying. I'm displaying our program called Trade Ideas, which includes a simulator that you can practice trading. Real time alerts, real time data. You can practice trading. Well, you know what? I could suggest this. I mean, it's about a month from now, a little over a month from now, but you might want to try us out. We have what we call our test drive. I'm going to get the link for you, okay? Yeah, this is well. I mean, this is scanning. This is a scanning software. So I mean, it's completely different from Yahoo. Okay, I mean Yahoo might be fine for longer term trades and all that. This is scanning software. All the stuff you see here is intraday stuff. But I mean, you can set it up for multi days. But if you're interested, you can click on that link there, the next test drive, and if you click on that link, you'll be brought to this page. So for $8.99, it's going to start on May the 11th. It'll run to May 22nd. That is 10 trading days. For $8.99, you'll have access to our full premium service. And I say we only do this 4 times a year. And so the next one, as I say, is May the 11th. And it'll give you a great idea about what our product can do. Plus, we have this trading room just like this is a free room. I'm open from 9 to 3, Monday to Friday, Eastern time, of course. So you can come on in and see how we use the product. You'll see we have a lot of great traders in the room. They'll be putting up ideas. If I have something I'm going to trade, I'll talk about it. So when you click on that, link, if you're interested, just fill in the form. And then what happens is you will get an email probably about a week before it actually starts, which will give you the exact sign-up procedure. "100% no, Stacia." That's the whole idea. I don't use the same. I have the same risk approximately every trade. So just like here, what I do here. So in the simulator, I'm risking $100 a trade. Okay, that's in the simulator. What I do is my own business, my own account. But no, I keep the risk about the same every single trade. So the share size will be probably, it'll be different every trade. So to give you an idea, if I wanted to buy a $10 stock and I'm willing to risk $100 on the trade, and I'm looking and I look on the chart, and let's just say I see a lot of really what I consider solid resistance at $9.90. So I'd say 10 cents away. So if I feel that should be a resistance point, and if it breaks down through that, then I should be out of the trade. So just to make the math really easy, that would mean I could buy 1,000 shares of that $10 stock, risking $100, assuming I pay my stop. Does that make sense? So if the stop were 20 cents away, then I'm buying 500 shares. Now, when to determine the stop, it shouldn't be just pulling something out and saying, oh, I'm going to risk 10 cents a trade or 20 cents a trade. It has to be based on something. I'm basing most of mine on this, what we call the VWAP stop, okay, which is a custom formula, which I'm hoping will be available to you guys relatively soon. There's no reason why we can't give it to you if you want to try it. Yeah, exactly. The price, in Amazon, if I wanted to trade, or Google, I'm not going to, but if I wanted to trade, I want to risk $100, what am I going to, buy half a share or a quarter of a share? I don't know, depending where the stop is. And when you get into a trade, there are a lot of schools out there, probably the minimum that you should be shooting for is, say, a 1 to 2 risk reward. So if I'm risking 10 cents on the trade, say that trade I was talking about, or the situation I was talking about with a $10 stock with a stop at $9.90. So that's a 10-cent stop. I have to be looking at the chart, though, before I would take that trade and thinking, okay, what is realistically, where could I get, where would the chart stop me? Do I see a lot of resistance, 5 cents away? Like a lot, what if I saw a lot of this? That's what I would call a lot of resistance. This being on the weekly chart, okay? So if I saw a lot of that, I would say, and it was only 5 cents away, I wouldn't take the trade. But if this were, say, 40 cents away, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, it has a reasonable chance of maybe getting close to that before it stops. So what would that mean? So if I get in at 10, and that's, a 40 cent potential expectation, and I'm risking 10 cents, there's a 1 to 4. So you shouldn't, Now, you'll hear me say every now and then, well, I'm in this for a scalp trade, which, then throws everything off. But most of the time, I'm always trying to get at least a 1 to 2. Some people will say I won't take anything until I get a 1 to 3, unless it looks like I could get a 1 to 3. No guarantees. Just because there's no support, no resistance, 40 or 50 cents away, there's no guarantee it's going to get close to that. But all we're trying to do is take that element out of the equation. The element of chart resistance. Could be a million other reasons why a stock doesn't keep going up. But at least what we try to do is take the chart resistance out of the way. If you're talking about me personally, Biz, I'm a Canadian, but I mean, if you're talking about me, I don't, well, first of all, I don't recommend anything, but we do scan for Canadian stocks. The software does scan for Canadian stocks. I mean, when I say I don't recommend anything, I'm not allowed to. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't recommend. So I'm not ever going to say, okay, I recommend you buy, not just you, but I recommend you buy this right here. That's not going to happen. When I'm going to take a trade, the MIC trade, you weren't around, but the MIC trade earlier on in the day, I mean, we were kind of zeroed in on this. Real mentioned this in the pre-market, and I was kind of watching it too, because it was, it was so far down, and it looked like it could keep going down. And I was saying, well, guys, it's now underneath 18. I'm very interested in it, and so I took the trade at 1784. So I usually am talking about something. Now, whether you or anybody else decides to take the trade when I do, that's up to you. Yeah, you too, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I like my watch list. I have to admit. Well, I have to admit. I mean, the watch list has been great. The GBDC. I mean, I would have made a lot more had I not been stubborn and saying, well, I got to have a workout. I'm not in this. I'm not in HUYA. This is just in the simulator. I've been talking about it, but I said I would only take it in my real account, my real account, if it broke down through 16. Okay, so I'm not. This is just in the simulator. How can you scan for Canadian stocks? Well, first of all, if you right-click, configure, and exchanges, so you can click on the Canadian exchanges right there. There's OTC and all, but they're the two, TSX and the Venture. I mean, they call it Venture, but so here are the two. So you can scan. Now, here's the caveat. And let me just, Anna, I'm going to pop this in. This is what, they always, anytime there's a Canadian question, trade ideas, they always, the traders ask me, okay, how do we answer that? So this is how I answer it. Where are you? There you are. So this is a canned response, okay? I'm just gonna post it in just underneath your post. This is the canned response. Guys, we may have a rally in the SPY. We actually look like we have a red bar ignored on the 15-minute chart for the SPY. We might have, right there, look at that red bar right there, and there's the SPY above the high of that red candle. 252, another 8 minutes for, wow, guys, we might have a rally. Well, I'd like to see a volume. It's some volume. Well, a little bit of volume. There's the 5-minute chart right there. There's the 5-minute volume. which is, let's see, now we have another 2 minutes for this to close. Can't do it, Sam. Okay, I'm sorry, you just can't do it. The charting is not like that. We don't have that capability. I mean, you can obviously scroll in and out and all that, but no, we don't have that. You cannot say, give me a 15-minute chart on 5 days. I mean, here's your 15-minute chart. Of course, you can expand it and move back, but so there's whatever 5 days. I don't know, but I know it's not what you're talking about. I understand, but. Look at Carnival, CCL. Look at Carnival here. Nice move. I'm sure the other one, Norwegian, and yes, NCLH, and yeah, they're all probably popping a little bit, and as you say, Royal Caribbean. Even Play is popping here. Look at Play on the move. It's an earnings play, and Play is moving. Well, let's just see if this green candle can hold. We have 5 minutes more for this candle. See if it can hold. Even Hertz is popping. First, probably, this has been down most of the day. This is steady down. Now Hertz is starting to come back. Wonder what Carr is doing. Carr. So a lot of stocks are looking like this based on the SPY, guys. Yeah, it seems easy, know your risk, trade your plan, all that sort of stuff. It seems easy until you start trading when you're a new trader. Because this is classically what happens, especially if you're brand new. So my analogy about the $10 stock you want to buy, and you look and you see some good support at 990, so you buy it. So what happens? So you buy it, and then it gets down to 990 where you should get out. And then you start second guessing yourself. Maybe my stop was too close. Maybe that's not the right stop. So I'm gonna adjust that down to maybe 980. And it starts to inch down to 980. Well, it's gonna come back. So I'm gonna hold on. And now it's 975. And now it's 960. So that little $100, using my analogy, that little $100 risk on that trade has now turned into $400. And you're so ticked off, and then you start sweating, and then even then maybe you do something even more. I don't want to say stupid. We all have done this, but you add to it. You add to the losing trade, because for all the reasons why it was going to go up, they're still there. So you add to that losing trade. Now all of a sudden you get a big red candle down. Now it's 920. Now you're down about $1,000. Okay, and then you finally give up and you sell it, and then of course it bounces back to 10, which is the worst thing. Because then you say, you know what? I should have just held because it was going to come back. So the next time all this scenario happens, and you look like you get stopped out, and you say nope because I know it's going to come back because the last time I did this and I sold, it came back, and then of course it doesn't come back, and now now your account's gone. Okay, well that's the bleakest scenario, but I mean it's difficult when you're starting out. You rarely see me take a big loss. I mean I usually. Sometimes I'm a little bit jumpy too. I mean, if the trade isn't working for me, sometimes I'll get out maybe a little bit sooner than I should, but I'll take a very small loss because you can always get back in. I mean, that premise again, buying that stock at $10 and it goes to $9.90, you get out, so it comes back to 10, you get back in. Sometimes it's timing, a little bit of timing. That's why I'm saying with my watch list up and down, sometimes it's a little bit of timing. I mean, maybe if it doesn't work right off the bat, doesn't go in the direction you think, and then it comes back to the alert price, maybe the second time is when you take a look at it. Look at Carnival. Oh boy, that's a real. What are we now? Only down 300. Come on. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that if the PDT rule can maybe. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, they take. Well, the problem, and especially on we trade junky stocks in here. Look, I know, but I always have, I always know that I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to be taking 20,000 shares of a stock that has a million in the float. He's just not going to do it because it can drop just like that. Yes, it can go up, and that's what you always see. Everybody in the internet, some guy says, "Oh, I turned $1,000 into 100,000." They probably, and if it happened, truly happened, it's because they bought some stock that's probably sub penny and they got lucky. No, okay, I'll stick around just a little bit. No, I'm not going to stick around till it's flat. I still have stuff to do. I still got to do my scanning. I still got to do stuff. So, not like I turned it off at 3 and then I don't do anything. Changing the symbol list. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll stick around for 5 minutes. You are more than welcome. Excuse me, Xanadu. Well, I mean, it's rallying with the market, isn't it? I mean, but it's obviously market related to a certain extent. I mean, if the market keeps going, I mean, look, it had a huge move in the pre-market. Problem is that it gave it all up. I mean, I don't look at it as being a wonderful trader right now, and I'm not trading it. I'm just not going to try. I'm not trading anything now. Something to do with 10 cent, right? Exercise of his option, etc., etc. And exactly that. So that's why our simulator trading. I mean, absolutely. Listen, I'll tell you this: if you cannot make money paper trading, I almost guarantee you'll never make money when you have your real money in the line. Okay, but just like you said, you can make all sorts of money in simulated trading, paper trading. And now the other thing about the simulator is that when you're in it, do not go crazy in terms of, well, I'm going to risk $1,000 a trade when you've got a $5,000 account. You might get lucky and make a couple of, pick some things that really work. And then all of a sudden you think, wow, am I ever good? You start trading with your real money and it doesn't work that way. Number one, emotion. The minute you see your real money, their P&L going up and down, it is amazing the difference. That's why when you're starting out, trade with don't take very many shares. Dip, even if you've paper traded for a while, just dip your toe in it. Power hour. I mean, it's just power hour is just the designation from 3 to 4 o'clock. That's what they call power hour. Nothing more, nothing less. A lot of people will be unwinding their positions maybe in the last hour. So, or people looking at the stocks that are really been good during the day and piling into them. So I mean, it's just. I mean, I don't really pay that much attention to it, to be honest. But no, there is no replay function. No, I have no idea where I see F in the next few weeks. I'm not I have no idea. I mean, look, until all this settles down, if it ever really does, nobody knows where anything is going. I mean, it's funny. I see car ads on TV. Well, I'm amazed there are. I mean, the advertisers. I mean, the broadcasters are going to be hurting because advertisers are just going to pull their ads. I mean, who's shopping? And the broadcasters. That's all they rely on are advertising revenue. So I mean, it's that's why services like Netflix and all they don't have anything to do with advertising, just subscription, so they can do well. But I mean, if you're an NBC or ABC or you know the big cable show, well, the cable shows that they do get money from the cable provider. But if you're a network relying on advertising, why am I going to advertise right now? All right, guys, I think I'll wrap it up. I think I'll wrap it up. Well, it's been an amazing week again. So who knows what's going to happen next week? But we will do all this over again next week. So have a great weekend, everybody. I always say stay safe. Do the social distancing, guys. Do it. And we will see you on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. So again, have a great weekend. And I'm just going to shut the room down right now.